I'm terrified of drawing. Regardless, I've made progress learning how to make pixel art for game dev. I went from this smiley face to a number of much better drawings. So I'm going to talk through my practice drawings, what I like about them, what I don't, and hopefully we can learn from this to motivate us and make sure that we can take on things that intimidate us, even if the results aren't perfect. Stick around and let me know in the comments which ones you liked and which ones you didn't. Let's start with the humble Boulder, one of my very first drawings alongside the smiley face, and for a first drawing, I'm really happy with the shape and shading on this one. It's not too bad and a good confidence booster early on. A tree. Once again, I tried my hand with shading, and while I'm happy with the leaves, I'm not a big fan of how noisy the ground and grass are. This is something I think I rely on too much, and you're going to see this in future drawings, and that is not utilizing empty space and wanting to add too much noise or detail. This is probably being afraid of empty space being too boring or plain. Next, a snail. A little friend from one of my real life aquariums, and I'm very proud of this one. I really like the colors I stumbled on, and the shape and swirl of the shell looks good to me. A house. At first, I wasn't too fond of this house on a hill, but looking back, I really like the house itself, the wooden roof, the chimney, and even the yellow walls. The hillside probably needs a few more features, as does the sky, and I'm not too fond of the clouds, especially one that is way down in the corner, way too close to the ground. A cyclops. Human and human-like forms are the most intimidating subjects for me to draw. I tried counteracting the fear by making this subject related to one of my favorite things to spur creativity, mythology. I made a cyclops and a similar boulder as before, and this time with gold flecks and spatters of fresh and dried blood. This felt like one of the first times where the vision in my head was able to mostly be translated to the page, or I guess screen in this case. A kiwi. A pretty simple drawing that was an excuse to use my favorite color green, and I feel like the outer brown husk can be shaped a little bit better, a bit more rounded, but I'm happy with the center and the seeds and the coloring there. This one's called Renewal. Another tree, and yet again, I use extra noise or detail as a crutch here. The desert. This was my first attempts at using the recommended palettes from Lostspec. If you don't know Lostspec, please check it out. There's daily prompts as well as palettes. And I really like how this one turned out. Using a limited or unusual palette made me really think about how to best represent what form I needed to draw without relying on my familiarity of what the subject typically looks like. In this case, the blue represents the dunes, although looking at it now, they could easily be mountains. And the bright pink sky has some transient white clouds. A cloud. I seem to struggle drawing clouds, and this time is no different. I kept relying on dithering to save what I felt was a poor drawing, and yes, I learned the word dithering. Does not mean I know how to do it properly though. This cloud is missing the fluffy qualities of a real cloud, and it's just too busy. An overgrown gear. A nice little drawing I enjoyed making, and it was fun to think about the subject as I drew rust and wanted the mixture between old technology and overgrowth. Overall, it's a simple one, but I enjoyed thinking of the world and setting this belonged to a lot. A penguin. This is probably my favorite drawing I've done while practicing. It's got shading, good contrasting colors, discernible features, and it's not too busy. And he's super cute, so what's not to love? A sea turtle. I decided to challenge myself with a much larger canvas size because I really wanted to get the details right on the turtle's shell. I think I did a great job with the bubbles and the turtle itself, but the kelp and shading isn't doing it for me. I wanted to add some effect related to how the light level decreases as you go deeper and deeper into the ocean. But I think what I did doesn't accomplish that and distracts from the better features of the turtle itself. An inn. A better use of dithering and shading on my part, as you can see the source of light and the color change isn't as drastic as previous drawings. Also, having the night sky as a simple backdrop with only a handful of stars helps the sign and torch in the foreground pop due to the color contrast. The only improvement I can think of right now is somehow giving the sign some more depth, so it doesn't look like the torch is right under it, ready to catch the whole building on fire. The earth. Another fun use of a limited palette, but this time to capture our little blue marble. This one is a simple one and I'm content with it, and I even managed to make some slightly better clouds than before, so a little bit of progress on my part. And finally, a horror animation. I even tried to dip my toes into animating some pixel art using Aseprite, and it was very intuitive and very fun to do. I went with a monster hiding in the closet, and you catch a glimpse of the piercing yellow eyes at first, but then the form starts to emerge after the lights go out a second time. So what kept me going and taught me new things along the way? Adam C. Eunice is my #1 source of inspiration when it comes to pixel art and a lot of my early game dev stuff. The link for his channel is in the description if you don't already know him. He is phenomenal and truly an inspiration in game dev, YouTube, and the kind of content and positive vibes he puts out into the world. He has so many videos and tutorials on every aspect of pixel art, and I cannot recommend him enough. For the tools I used, I'm using Aseprite to do all my pixel art, and it's a phenomenal tool and it feels great to use. Daily practice via LostSpec, again, links in the description, although sadly I don't really do it daily, and I'll try working on that, but I know that daily is a little beyond my reach at the moment. LostSpec dailies are great, but as I mentioned before, another thing that helped me was limiting myself with the palette provided in LostSpec. I think that this has been one of my greatest sources of growth in my drawing skills because it provided me a challenge while stopping the indecision that comes with picking a palette and deciding what colors are right. So that wraps up my tour of my very amateur drawings. While I don't think every one of my drawings is good, I'm proud of all of them. And I like to keep them around to see how far I've come, and as a learning exercise to see if I can identify what I'm doing wrong and how I've improved. If you enjoyed this video of me talking about my game development journey and pixel art, then please subscribe and check out my other videos where I talk about my game prototypes. Don't forget to aim high, but take it easy on yourself, and see you next time.